you can have with kids' toys. Anyway, how are you everyone on YouTube out there? Novabug here on your computer screen, telly box, visual viewer, mobile phone, whatever. I haven't done a waffle for a while, so I thought, yes, why not have a little bit of a waffle. I was thinking about something. It came from a tweet that I read. I forgot who it was. I think it was a female gamer, and she mentioned that she still plays games with her dad. Now that got me thinking. I've never played video games. Well, hardly ever played video games with my father, apart from obviously Wii stuff and quiz games like Buzz and family titles like that. But when it comes to two-player sort of racing stuff or platforming or fighting games especially, no, or sports styles, no, never have. He's never been interested in that kind of thing. He's just from that generation. And it got me thinking, when will we get too old to game? I know it sounds a strange question, because sort of like, will it be a personal preference, wouldn't it? You can game as much as you like into whatever age you feel, but how would it be seen, for instance, a pensioner gaming, picking up a copy of Mario Kart, playing it, say in your 80s, 90s? Because if you think about it, the gaming industry has been going for just over 4 decades now, since the early 70s, and the developers at the time that pioneered gaming, obviously many of them were in their early 20s then, some in their 30s, and now they're pensioners. And now that they were developers, but are they still gaming? I don't know, maybe they are, but what about for the user base? I mean, most of my generation, for instance, from the late 70s, growing up through the 80s and 90s, and now I'm going to be, in a couple of years, going to be 40, I still want a game. Obviously I don't get much time for it nowadays with loads of responsibilities as you get older and stuff, and especially with all the other media bits and pieces that I do with the internet. But it's an interesting sort of poser, because will you be a pensioner picking up a copy of Mario Kart 8, for instance, that's coming out soon, and giving it a bash when you're 85 years old? That sounds rude, doesn't it? I didn't mean it like that. It's a weird thing to sort of envisage. Now, myself, I'd like to think I would. I'd like to think that I wouldn't be too old. I mean, we'd have a generation from the young gamers of my generation growing up, and in a couple of decades we're going to get to the point where I'm a pensioner, and will I be still gaming? Will I want to still gaming? Could I physically still do it? Would I have the mental reactions? I'm not saying I would go crazy or anything, afflictions or anything, but the facts are that things do slow down with the body and the aging process. Your reactions aren't as quicker. Your eyesight certainly detracts. So is it, firstly, physically and mentally possible to play games when you're of that age? And how would you feel about it? Would you feel that you're just, well, you got to the point where I've had my gaming time when I was younger, and leave it to the kids now? Because we're coming into a situation now where people that have always been around games, I'm not talking about the people that developed them, because before that they didn't have video games, but the people that from, say, the 70s, for their entire lives they've known computer games, their entire lives, and we're getting to that point now where a lot of them are reaching their 50s and they've been gaming all their life, because it's always been around. So we're going to get the generation where we have a whole generation of people who have always been involved in video games, and it's just an interesting thing to think about. Will you still be gaming? Would you think you'll still be gaming when you're a pensioner, when you're drawing your pension, when you're in your lovely retirement home or whatever, wherever you see yourself? I'd like to think I would be, but I'm not sure if A would be kind of acceptable. And when I say acceptable, I mean, how would my kids look at me? I mean, kids would be in their 30s and 40s, and oh, Dad still games in his 90s, hypothetically. I'd like to know what you think. I really would. Stick a comment. Stick a comment, or make a video. Knock yourself out. Well, not literally knock yourself out, that would be a bad idea. But anyway, it just got me thinking, and I thought I'd just waffle on and maybe see what you think about ageing and gaming and where we are going. Now, oh yes, I've got, since play Blackpool, I picked up a few things, and the first thing I picked up was actually on the day after play Blackpool, well, evening. We're out of the blue. My brother-in-law suddenly said, "Oh, I've got this Mega Drive." So after a bit of wheeling and dealing, I got this Mega Drive off him, and it was a box Mega Drive with 11 games. Well, sort of 11 games. You'll see why I say that coming to it. Now, of course, I've already got a Mega Drive, so I've passed the Mega Drive on to the dude. I hope you enjoy it, sir. And a few of the games as well. The games I gave him were all called Premier Manager 97, FIFA Football 96, and Skitching. Some sort of rollerblading affair where you're doing a Marty McFly and grabbing the back of cars. I love the warning messages on the box. Don't do this in real life. Bit late for that, chaps. So we sort of seen Marty do that, and if we were down that road, we would have copied the time travelling teenager, wouldn't we? But what I did do is keep some of the games and some crackers, I must admit, and a few anomalies as well. But start off with them. We have Lotus 2 RECS. And this is another slight anomaly. I had to do a bit of research on this because I thought this might be. Oh, that's Lotus Esprit Turbo. Looks like Lotus Esprit Turbo. Turns out this is Lotus. It is the Lotus Esprit Turbo series number 3. Got on the Mega Drive. It's called number 2. Race Environment Construction System. That's what REX stands for. The third game in the series had this, but the Mega Drive, because the first game never came out on the Mega Drive. They renamed it Lotus 2. Bit of a throws you off there, but like most of these games, the boxes are solid, the instructions are there, and this is a weird anomaly. Someone may be able to, Sega fans can answer me this. It's a Genesis car, but in a Mega Drive box. So it kind of threw me off that. I thought, that's a bit odd. It's a Genesis car. It works, of course it does, but and it's a real good grain. Grain? I'm saying that again, aren't I? Sticking R's in words, I shouldn't be putting them in. So I'm very pleased with that. That was the first, because I've kept, there was 11 games, so I've kept 9 of them. That was the first. Then an all-time classic, not as better than the first one, but Turbo Out one. Excuse me. Surreptitious slurp of beer behind the cartridge. Yeah, again, complete, proper Mega Drive cartridge. This one, brilliant, fantastic. You've got to have a copy of a decent copy of Out one on a Sega platform in your collection, and I have now, which is brilliant. We come on to more racing titles as well, with the all-time classic Super Monaco GP. One of the games I used to play on a friend's Mega Drive many moons ago. This one, unfortunately, something's gutted the instruction manual, so we've got the front cover and the back cover and no contents, which is a pity, but never mind. And the cartridge label's got a bit of marking on it. It looks like it's been well used, and I understand why, because it's Monaco GP. Again, excellent game. And so is the part 2. Now part 2, Monaco GP part 2 with dearly departed Ayrton Senna on the front there. This one's actually sponsored by Ayrton Senna, isn't it? Ayrton Senna's. So this one is complete, wonderful, works lovely. And a lot of these cartridges are very clean, surprisingly. Few got a little bit of damage here and there, but the boxes are just £6 a pound. Absolutely wonderful. Then I got a bit of a doozy. Got Sonic 3D, Flicky's Island. I've heard this one's a bit poor, but I haven't been giving it a proper play yet, but it works. It's in the cartridge is in absolutely tippity-toppity condition. Wonderful. And again, box instructions. I mean, the condition of that is pretty much off the shelf. It's absolutely brilliant. As is Virtua Fighter 2. I didn't even know this came out on the standard Mega Drive. I thought Virtua Fighter was on the 32X. But yeah, Mega Drive handles the polygons rather impressively. I mean, obviously the menus are stripped down. Again, though, look at the condition of that cartridge. I mean, it's barely been played, so absolutely brilliant. This is one I did have a bit of trouble with, and it has had a bit of a rough life. It's got damage to the box and stuff, and it looks like a rat has been chewing it there. But one of my favourite Sega games, Virtua Racing, and like I said, I had a bit of trouble with this initially. It didn't load at first, no instructions unfortunately. Like I said, it has had a bit of a rough life. This label's faded, scratches on the cart, makes a noise. So it didn't load this. It took me a while to get it open up and clean it up, and once I cleaned it up, it worked wonderful. And you know what, I put it on my big HD TV, and it looks great still. Obviously the resolution's a bit blurry, but oh, it just set me back. The music in VR, I used to love this. The course selection music. That took me straight back to the arcades, remembering that. So I'm well pleased that I've got that. And this one is brilliant for many reasons, because it's a Mega cartridge. It's a Mega Games. It's they call it Mega Games 6, but the games on it are brilliant. Golden Axe 1, Streets of Rage 1, Super Hang On, Columns, and a couple of others. Revenge of Shinobi's not bad. Don't care too much for World Cup Italia 90. The Golden Axe, Streets of Rage 1, wow, brilliant. And this again is in really good condition. So that, you know, by one cartridge alone will keep me amused on the Mega Drive for a long time. So it expanded my Mega Drive collection rapidly in one click of a small finger. So it was a good pick up. That very good pick up. Some really good titles there. Love the Mega Games, love the VR. An excellent little haul. As I say, let's pop that down there as I bump the camera. And as I say, the Mega Drive itself, with all its peripherals and stuff, went off to a very fine home indeed, because I already have one. Then I've done a bit of charity shop. Since then, I've done a bit of charity shop looking around, and obviously come across the obligatory PS2 games, so we'll get them out of the way. If you see my Facebook, you would have seen these. Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. I always pick ones that a little bit of a crease there, but excuse me, really good condition. Did a bit of a shifty with this one because the actual box it was in wasn't very good, so I swapped the box over in the shop. £1. Here's a classic. Crazy Taxi. PS2 version, of course. Another perfect condition, this one. Really good condition. Chuffed with that. Never played the Dreamcast original, of course, so really happy. I've given it a bit of a go already, and yeah, it's a really good game. Really good game. Then we got a couple. We got this one. I wanted this one when I was a big Tekken fan. I'm a Tekken 3 fan. I think this was the first Tekken that came out on the PS2. I'm sure it was. Tekken Tag Tournament. I only picked this up. This is £1.50. This was picked this up because it is again in absolutely. I mean, this. Look at this instruction booklet. It's hard. I don't think it's ever been opened. That is just mint. And there's Jin and I've forgotten his name. Whatever, on the back. But yeah, for £1.50 that is an absolute steal. And finally, this is probably shite, to be honest. The only reason I picked it up is because I was a really big fan of the show. Robot Wars Arenas of Destruction, with our friend Sir Killalot there on the back, and all the favourites: Matilda, Sergeant Bash, Shunt, that was Carl, and what was the other one called? Dead Metal. Yeah, I did like Robot Wars. I thought, ooh, Robot Wars was really wicked, wasn't it? I mean, remember when you first saw Hypnodisc and Razor? What a robot! Why don't they do that show anymore? Wish they did. But anyway, that's the game of it. There might be more games of that. I'm not sure. Probably. And I'm not sure if it's any good. But I like Robot Wars, so that's why I've got it. And then I got... oh, that's fallen out something. Then I got... I hadn't picked up a couple of PS1 games for a while, so I was very happy to find two rather good PS2 games in a local Bernardo's, of all places. Never normally find games in Bernardo's. But I picked these two up. One of them because its soundtrack is absolutely... the game itself is okay. I've got a review of it actually on Pixel Empire, which is Rapid Racer. Lord of Miami, right into the ocean, and I can't sing. But the soundtrack of this, done by Apollo 440, amazing band, love them. Box instructions, someone being a dick, drawing over the disc with marker pen, but apart from that, excellent condition, nice little game. It's not the best, but it's a nice little game for the PS1. Really good condition and no cracks or marks or anything on the box. £1, brilliant. And finally, another return to my efforts of rebuilding my original PlayStation collection, which is I had this originally back in the day. That's not that long ago. It's in PlayStation, but I'm glad to have it back again. Which is Soul Reaver 1 Legacy of Kain series. Love it. I've got Soul Reaver 2, and I think I've got. I did have Legacy of Kain. Was it Legacy of Kain? Blood Omen. Mind Block. That's it. I think I've got it. I did have it at one point. I might have it somewhere. I've got some boxes and stuff. But again, I'd love to. I'm very happy to see this again. And again, similar to Tekken Tag Tournament, it looks like it's never been actually opened. The disc is absolutely. You can see your face in that disc. It's so clean. So happy to have Raziel back on the shelves. Brilliant game. And that's it. That's all I've got. I've done all right actually. I think this month not too bad. It was great to pick up a couple of PlayStation 1 games, and then Mega Drive games are superlative. So I will be going in a couple of days to Wembley. So depending on the result of that, I might make a football video about it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. I know that will please Matt if I do that. And maybe Harry and John too. So, but this ticks off. And the reason why I'm adding this on at the end of this video, because this ticks off a bucket list for me to see the mighty Queen's Park Rangers at Wembley on the hallowed turf. So I really do hope we win. It's going to be a good game for. But either way, I'm going to be well, pissed. Let's put it that way. Probably at the end of the day. So that's enough for me for this month. I hope you had a good May. I hope your summer has got off to a flyer. I'm going on holiday in a week, so I'll have a few gameplay videos up until then. Won't do another one of these for a couple of weeks. Maybe a video response actually coming up soon, but that's about it. And well, enjoy the World Cup. That's coming up as well, isn't it? Of course, got it written on there. England. And I will say, as always, be good to each other and Nova Bug